Amy McGrath is off to a very rocky start in what was already an uphill race against the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Just days into her campaign, McGrath is apologizing for a flip-flop-flip on a question any decent Senate candidate should have been prepared for. Would you have voted to confirm Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court? McGrath told the Louisville Courier-Journal yesterday she probably would have voted to confirm Kavanaugh if she were in the Senate at the time. Then a very quick retreat on Twitter. Upon further reflection and further understanding of his record, I would have voted no. I will make mistakes, the candidate says, and always own up to them. The priority is defeating Mitch McConnell. Today's headlines back home, a campaign nightmare. Here's just the Courier-Journal. Would Amy McGrath have voted Kavanaugh onto Supreme Court? Depends on when you ask her. There are some things a candidate gets a pass on in the minutiae of policy. You're running for Senate against Mitch McConnell. You got to have an answer on Brett Kavanaugh. That's kind of campaign 101, right?
Yeah, and, especially if you're running against Mitch McConnell, judges is the thing you're going to want to be talking about. What a disaster. This is just a disaster. I'm not sure what was worth being for Kavanaugh or then having to flip so quickly and say you weren't. I think
you're not going to raise any national Democratic money if you're for Kavanaugh.
Well, she had,
that's her only hope.
And she had raised a bunch of money already. Yeah. I mean, Mitch McConnell and his people are ruthless, and she was going to have a really hard time anyway with Trump on the ballot in Kentucky, and this kind of mistake, they were just rubbing their hands together over there at
they're not just ruthless, they're sarcastically funny ruthless. This is from Team Mitch on Twitter, Amy right now. Can we put it up? There we go. It's a dog in a laboratory. I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, they're quick. Yeah. And they're, ouch is the right word. Thank you.
This whole thing kind of shows how Democrats have to twist themselves into a pretzel to run it in a state like Kentucky. I mean, part of Amy McGrath's message is that President Trump won Kentucky by a big margin, and she wants to work with him on things like infrastructure and draining the swamp. And she's painting McConnell as a threat to getting Trump's agenda passed and saying she would better work with President Trump. None of it really computes here.
But it's also, you've had Chuck Schumer, the Democratic Senate leader, who's had some setbacks in his recruiting, who thought this was a big success. She ran a House race. Even Democratic year, she lost, so some people question whether this is a great success. But you have a former Marine fighter pilot, a woman candidate to go against Mitch McConnell. In Kentucky, this is the Courier-Journal, from a reporter, Philip Bailey, the first 36 hours at Amy McGrath's launch have not been a good confidence builder for Kentucky Democrats. Already hearing from several officials and consultants who are saying, and they list 2 other possible candidates there. Is this a case where Washington thinks it's right, and maybe in a state like Kentucky people are saying,